So I've played NHL 23 for a couple of days, or at the very least, the closed technical test, and today I'm going to try to answer the question, should you buy NHL 23? Based on that, of course, these are only my opinions, and it is the closed technical test. Things can change before release. We haven't played the full game. We haven't played all the modes, but these are my thoughts based on what we've seen. Of course, likes and subscribe, okay? You already know. If you want more content, then subscribe to the channel. Let's get to the review. Alright, so I've been playing the NHL 23 beta, or closed technical test, as they like to call it, and I have a couple of things to say because, I'm a YouTuber, and that's kind of what I do, is say things. So, I figured today I will bring you the review, or my review, rather, of the NHL 23 closed technical test, and what it has to offer, how the gameplay feels, and all of that wonderful, wonderful stuff. Now, obviously, this is NHL 22 gameplay. It is a closed technical test. If you click on something that says NHL 23, expecting NHL 23 gameplay, I don't know what to tell you, dog. You gotta read the title, and you gotta read what the hell you're talking about. So with that out of the way, we shall begin. And though this is obviously NHL 22, I gotta say, what I think of NHL 23 so far, man, it feels very similar to NHL 22. Okay, the closed technical test, we played it. It's EASHL only, by the way. If you don't know, it's only EASHL, so you get drop-ins, you get club, and if you want to play anything else, you better get yourself to the PlayStation Store and buy a different game, because that's not what you're getting in the closed technical test, okay? It's EASHL only, so you won't have any sort of versus gameplay sort of perspective or experience from anyone. So that's all we can speak on, and from what I've seen or what I've felt so far, now keep in mind, we're still early yet. Like, it's been out for 2 days, and we are still somewhat low level because we haven't had that much time to play. So we don't have the actual builds that we're going to be using. Like, we don't have our fully kitted out builds that we have on NHL 22. So, right off the bat, what I will say is it feels a little sluggish, a little bit more sluggish than NHL 22. As far as, nice shot, by the way. As far as the agility of the players is concerned. Now, some of that might have to do with the fact that we don't really have elite edges. I do have a Dangler class that has elite edges, and it feels a lot more smooth. So, I'm guessing once you're fully kitted out and you have good players, then it doesn't feel as sluggish. But so far, that's kind of what I felt. However, everything else is very similar, man. The one main difference that you will notice for sure while playing the game is poke checking. Poke checking is, man, when you press that R1 button, you are signing a contract that you are either getting this puck or you are getting burned. Okay, like that's what you're signing, because if you press the R1 button and miss, you are going to lose a step, like a significant step on your stride. And if you dare, okay, if you have the cojones to hold the R1 button and use the defensive skill stick, my brother in Christ, they will fill your skates with cement, okay? It is going to be very difficult for you to keep up with the play while holding the poke check. Now, I see this as being a very debatable issue, but I feel like it really depends what you want out of your hockey game. For balancing and for giving a little bit more power to the offense, because a lot of people complain that defense was favored in NHL 22, it's doing its job, right? It's giving a little bit more power to the offense because you can't stand up at the blue line and swing your stick around. However, for the sake of realism, man, professional hockey players don't completely stop skating when they start poke checking or they extend their stick a little bit. So I will offer this. Personally, in my own opinion, I feel like it's a little too much. I feel like you slow down too much, too quickly. For game balancing's sake, I do agree that you should slow down when you're holding the poke check, but it feels like you lose speed so quickly that just a basic sweep of the stick that an NHL player can do at top speed, any NHL player can do at top speed, I feel like you instantly get penalized so much. So what I would like to see is a little delay in how you lose speed while holding the poke check. Just give us like a half second of slowdown free poke checking for defensemen that sweep the puck instead of jabbing at it. Because what a lot of defensemen do, at least the very good ones, is they'll poke the puck at you, but they will sweep their stick in a way that when they do poke the puck, the puck goes where they want it to go as opposed to just in a random direction. So a lot of really higher level defensemen, they don't really jab poke check. They just kind of sweep at it to sort of aim where the poke check is going to go. And same thing for defending a passing lane. Sometimes you just want to extend your stick out for a split second and take a passing lane away, but you're not like actively super reaching trying to take the puck away. So you shouldn't be penalized and slow down that much. Okay, especially on little quick turns or something like that. So I would like the speed penalty that you get for poke checking to be just give us a split second before it kicks in, just to make those sweep poke checks, and just so that you don't get super penalized. Okay, like let us lose a lot of speed if we poke twice within the same second. Like, let us do that. I feel like that would be a good compromise because you don't want people poke spamming, right? You don't want someone going R1, 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 R1. That's annoying, and that's, you know, that messes with the game balancing, of course. So if you poke, like, twice within a certain time window, then, yeah, give us the speed penalty. But other than that, we should be able to sweep our stick. Because right now, man, I gotta be honest with you, the defensive skill stick and sweep pokes are just practically useless. If you play good offensive players, you're not going to be able to trap them with that. They're just going to walk right around you, especially when you lose that speed. So I'd like that to be toned down a little bit, but it is good. It's a good thing. I agree. You should be penalized for missing poke checks. So it's a fine balance that they have to find, and I feel like they haven't quite found it yet. Now, as far as the new feature goes, the stumbling shots or last chance puck movement, as they call it, last chance passes, last chance shots, they're cool. They're cool. When they trigger, they are really cool. But you have to trigger them manually. A lot of the reason why people are saying it's the exact same is they didn't bother to check how to actually use the new feature. I haven't seen much. I've seen a few. I've seen like 2, 3 falling shots and a few falling passes, but most of the people, they just don't use them. I don't know if it's because the control is not intuitive or whatnot, or maybe people are trying to use it and it's just not responsive enough. I don't know what it is, but I don't see that much last chance puck movement happening. Now, obviously, you don't want it to happen constantly because then it'll just look goofy and really arcadey, but I feel like it should happen a little bit more, so I don't know if there's something they can do with that. Maybe we just haven't played the game yet, or played the game enough yet that people are experienced with the feature. That might be it as well. But when they do trigger, man, they're cool. They're cool. You get some sick-looking shots. You get some great-looking passes. Your player's diving, you know, to make that play, and it looks really authentic. It looks dynamic, and I really appreciate that. So that's a good new feature. Goaltenders seem, especially AI goalies, have been improved. Obviously, if you allow high percentage shots, listen, if you're waiting for a game, like a video game, to have high percentage shots be low percentage, you're going to wait a really, really, really long time, and you might actually never get it, my guy. You might actually, it looks like you're going to have to play some defense at some point in your life. I'm sorry. However, I got to say, I have seen a number of times where we get a cross-crease play, either my team getting a cross-crease play or the other team getting a cross-crease play, and the entire lobby, like the whole party, thinks that it is a goal for sure, because we've been trained that at that angle with a good shooter, it's a bucket. And then the goalie dives out and grabs it out of midair with a glove, or sticks a paddle out and gets the paddle on it, so the goalies can actually stop the cross crease. And it's awesome. Okay, so I've really, really enjoyed that, because cross creases go in at a rate so far with what I've played that is, of course, a high percentage play, but they're not automatic anymore. Goalies actually can stop the cross crease. So far, goalies have been given the tools, AI goalies at least, to stop the cross crease, and that is awesome. I absolutely love that, because you don't want moments in a video game where you know what's about to happen, right? I love times and moments in video games where we're surprised at what just happened and we're like, oh my goodness, that's dope, you know? So I really enjoy the fact that goalies can stop the cross crease. Again, I'm sure 1T X Factor, when that's unlocked by the masses and it becomes a really well-used X Factor, I'm sure it'll be toned down, but then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm just giving you what I've experienced so far. Speaking of goaltending, I can't speak on it because I haven't played goalie, because I don't bother playing goalie in these video games anymore. I haven't played goalie since like NHL 18. It's crazy. I just don't do that. The one thing I will say though is they gotta stop with the closed technical tests, man. They gotta stop with that. Just make it a beta. Make it an open beta, please, so that people can just get in. Like, the fact that we are still waiting this long to find games in a free demo is ridiculous. Just make it an open beta, because, like, why? Why are you wasting all of these creators' times who are getting bombarded with codes? Like, bro, it shouldn't be Thrash and Tugi's job to give the population the codes for the freaking beta. Like, come on, man. You handing so many out, it's practically open as it is. You're just adding so much unnecessary bullshit for the people to play it. Just make it an open, downloadable freaking beta next year, okay? Just please. If you don't want us to share content, that's fine. Have the watermark there and everything and all of that. But, man, let us play it. Please, just make it accessible for the population so that we can find matches quickly. Because it's ridiculous. We spent, I kid you not, like 40 minutes the other night trying to find a game with a full squad. Unacceptable. But overall, here's my thoughts on the NHL 23 closed technical tests. Gameplay-wise, it's an improvement, for sure. I don't think it's a full-price $80 improvement. And I have to tell you, if you are looking to be blown away with a full new experience for your $80, then NHL 23 might not be it if the gameplay is what they focused on. However, I will give the game a chance. They haven't showed us anything in modes. They haven't showed us any presentation features. They haven't showed us anything like that. So maybe they focused on game modes this year. I'm saying this with a huge asterisk. Take this with a grain of salt. I have no information. They might have spent time on the modes that will make this worth purchasing. But as a gameplay, from a gameplay standpoint, it's not a huge leap forward. It's very similar to NHL 22. It feels like NHL 22 with a balanced patch and then with the stumbling, falling shots, last chance puck movement added to it. That feature by itself alone, to me, is probably not worth a full purchase. Obviously, I'm going to buy the game because I have no choice because I do this. But I'm saying for somebody that doesn't have to make content on it, man, if the modes don't excite you, like if whatever they show us for game modes and presentation, if that doesn't excite you, maybe I would wait for a sale on NHL 23. I'm just keeping a whole stack. I've enjoyed 23 so far, but it's not a huge leap forward, and they're going to have to bring it with the game modes and the features and maybe a whole new presentation package for it to be worth it, in my opinion. But that is my review of the NHL 23 closed technical test. I hope you enjoyed it. You can follow me on Twitter at G20YT. And if you did enjoy this video, then you know how to help a YouTuber out, baby. Punch the like button in the face, spam the hell out of it, comment, subscribe. We're not going to play the third period here because the Oilers are winning, and that makes me happy. So I'm G20. I appreciate your time as always, and I'm out. Peace.